We are in Georgia and they say Europeans come from here, but nobody really wants to admit it. It's a country on the edge of Europe that's too west for the east and too east for the west. So now we are gonna explore some of the good parts, and in the end we are also gonna see some bad parts of the city and some shadows of the Soviet Union. Right now we're standing at the Liberty Square here in Georgia, and this was actually named Lenin Square in the USSR. There used to be a huge statue of Lenin, but they torn the Lenin statue down in '93.
So Georgia has for many years been torn by political difference in the country. 80% of the people want to join the European Union. As you can see on the building behind me, they got a European Union flag. But in the latest years, the government is trying to flirt with Russia some more to gain this like middle ground between the EU and Russia, and EU doesn't like that. So they are further than ever from getting to the EU. Although they got officially invited to get a membership in 2023, they are still a long way from actually getting it. It's also interesting that they have a NATO flag. We have never seen that before on our travels. But they officially got the promise to be a part of NATO in 2008, but nothing has happened, and it seems very unlikely that anything will happen. So right here in the middle of the old town in Tbilisi, they found in 2012, when they were digging for a new road across the city, they found this ancient middle age city wall, and you can see it down here under the road. They have built like a bridge on top, and then they have like made this exhibition for the ancient city wall. It's very cool. It's like in Bulgaria actually. The wall was standing around the city from 1100 AD to 1300 AD, and it was like the middle age city wall of the city. Actually 3,000 years before Christ, there were civilizations here in Georgia, and it's one of the oldest civilizations in Europe that is known.
So as you saw, this building was actually the parliament with Georgia's independence in 1980, where they held free elections until the annexation, as they wrote by Russia. So this was actually the original, not original, but one of the first parliaments in Georgia.
Yeah, we have no clue what that alien script is saying. It's probably some presidents or something from this country throughout the years. I don't know. I like the script of this country, and the language is quite cool. But we don't understand anything, not a single word actually. So right in front of me we got a very interesting building. Let's see. And judging by the police in the car behind me, this is a very important building. And that's because this is the Parliament of Georgia. Look at this building. Actually quite cool. I like the sandstone bricks they have used. It's very local looking. It's very deserty, which it kind of is right here. But look at that graffiti. Look at all of this stuff. What has happened here? Well, that's a very good question. This was the center of the protest in 2024 against a new law that would mark all media outlets which get more than 20% of their fundings from foreign organizations. They will mark them as foreign agents. And that was basically inspired by a Russian law. Also, it came into place not too long ago, and that made many Georgians, especially the younger people, very angry, because this distanced Georgia even further from the European Union and NATO, because the European Union saw it as a step towards Russia, and the European Union doesn't like that. So yeah, it sparked a lot of protests, and apparently they haven't cleaned up yet from the protest, which is actually a little bit sad. Why do you paint graffiti on this beautiful building? I mean, that in the middle I can accept it, but the graffiti, I think it's unacceptable, no matter the cause. So the current political situation here in Georgia is that the party called Georgian Dream is in power. And they were originally pro-European, but over the years they have turned to be more conservative and anti-liberals, basically. Against homosexual stuff, I think, and also they're inspired by Orban in Hungary to have this like middle ground between Europe and Russia. Basically, they are very unpopular among the young people, but still they get majority. And the election not too long ago was actually accused of being fraudulent. I don't know if that's true. I probably think it was not fraudulent. Up here is a lady and it says sanction Putin's puppet and pro-Russian government. Very interesting stuff. It's definitely a protest, and it's interesting how they are actually having this protest right in front of the parliament and not being removed by the police. And they're actually sleeping here, it seems.
Do you speak English? No. No English?
I don't know if I would film her because it's kind of toxic, all of this stuff. She couldn't speak English, but it's very interesting. But even though what you hear in the Western media is that they are very anti-European Union, but they still got the European flag up there with the Georgian flag, which is interesting. And as I may have said earlier, 80% of the Georgian population is in support of a EU membership. So it will also be some of the voters who vote for Georgian Dream Party.
So here in Georgia they are Georgian Orthodox, and a fun fact about this is all the churches look alike in this country. I really don't know why, but it's pretty funny to walk around and it just looks like you've been the same place many times.
That behind there must be like the opera or theater of the city. Looks like it. It's very cool. A blockchain ATM, that's cool. So you can get your bitcoins out in Georgian lari. That's cool. I've never seen that before. So it seems like in Georgia, they, instead of like removing the graffiti, they are just like painting over it. Maybe it's even the government who are doing it. So you can't see what it says. Maybe there's been some political like statements on here, like fuck Russia, and maybe something like fuck the government and something like that. And here we got some actually quite cool graffiti with the Georgian flag and the We Are Europe flag, although they're not European Union, and it's actually quite disputed if they're even a European country. I mean, you can argue that the part in the Caucasus Mountains are European continent, but I wouldn't say the rest are really. They're like in the splits between Asia and Europe. Culturally, they're probably more European than Asian. So the legends say that Tbilisi, the capital of Georgia, was founded in year 458, which is a very long time ago. It makes it one of the older capital cities, really. And the city was founded by, I have to read this up, King Vakhtan Gorgasali. And he was king of the East Georgian kingdom. And apparently he had his falcon who flew out to like catch a bird of some sort, and they both died in one of the hot waters around here. They got a lot of hot springs here in Tbilisi, and apparently his falcon and this bird died in one of the hot springs, and the king got so fascinated by the hot springs and the hot water around here that he like made the city of Tbilisi. So that's very cool. Legend, I don't know if it's true. Probably not, but it's a fun story.
So we are at the dry bridge market in Tbilisi, And you can see they sell loads of things. There's like here for working, woodworking. There's watches, some daggers also. I don't know what they're used for. It's a cart. What do you use like a set like this for? You have like a thing for whiskey, some shots, some knives, some cards. But the thing about these markets is that when we buy something, we would like something that's kind of homemade, or at least something that has a little soul, and most of this is just like some crappy shit they buy from China or something. So, but it's still very cool. But you can see this is why it's the dry bridge market. It's on this huge bridge over this river.
I don't know if you can see it. I think you can. Over there, the big beautiful church is the Holy Trinity Church, and we'll be going there.
So right here we have the Holy Trinity Church, and it's one of the largest Eastern Orthodox churches in the world, and it's also one of the largest religious buildings in the world. And as you can see, it's just massive.
Wow, that thing is massive and extremely beautiful. The funny thing is, the way it only has one tower and the way it's designed actually makes it look a little bit small from afar, but here close up, that's amazing.
We're now leaving the church, and that was it for the beautiful places, but now we're heading to a place where you can really see the Soviet shadows. But now we'll just head down to the metro, and we'll try and find out where to go, because it's a little hard with, with these stations. It's memorials over the conflicts with Russians.
This is cool. Yeah, you can see it right in front of us. I know GoPro is really zoomed out, even though it's not in any zoomed out mode. But just look at this. It is actually some of the worst stuff. I know we say that every time, but we also just keep getting to shittier places. Look at this. Wow. There we got the Soviet playground. It's not very big, but it's definitely some Soviet stuff. So the next question is if it's possible to actually get up there. I think it is, but we'll try. Oh, look at all that pizza. Disgusting. Well, now it's getting a little bit exciting. People live in these buildings. So at this point, our very trusted GoPro mic setup chose not to work, leaving us without sound for the next section. I'll try my best to fill you in what happened. We found the entrance to the sky bridge and walked out there. I commented on how cool the modern skyline of Tbilisi looked, and criticized the building's discrimination against tall people. Then we went over the next section of the bridge, connecting to the second building that looked very rough.
Again, we looked over the city and I admired the two gopniks hiding in the corner. The last bridge was also fun to cross, but the third building was a dead end. We turned around and went back to the street while I commented on the contrast of Tbilisi.
Okay, so we tried to show you the market like under the street, but we came up a whole other place also with the market. But let's check this market out. Look at the other side also. Oh, it stinks in here. Stinks of like cheap Chinese products here. Yeah, we can buy some fish over here, and look at this. This is like the Wuhan food market. Let's go this way. And you can step on the cats. This is just want to buy some of that? In that container. Oh shit, I got shot. What is this hellhole? Seriously. What's in here? You can't be serious. Bang. What is this place?
As you can see, it's a pretty shitty place, but we have arrived at the market. So now we're just gonna go down and take a look. And look at the entrance, how disgusting it is. Look at this. It's crazy, it's just closed and closed. Look at this. And it's almost closed down there. But just look at how much. So yeah, you can definitely see how this is crazy. You have this market, and then you got the central station right here.
So that was all around Tbilisi. Beautiful city, very cool. It got its bad sides definitely, but we have enjoyed it. So yeah, we'll continue to explore Georgia and some other countries nearby. It will be very cool. So see you in the next video.